Okay, one of my favorite chapters here. I really enjoy Hell's Kitchen. I think they did a great job decorating this place. Has a real comic book vibe.
Sorry, gang. I've got another lead to follow up on. I'll meet up with you a bit later. But I'll
And
stay
lots
in
of
touch
trash
just in case,
enemies
okay?
for Star-Lord to destroy.
Guarded by actual ninjas? If not, I probably should have.
They refer to it as Shadowland in this
I'm betting
game.
you've noticed this by now, but the Hand's ninjas have a tendency to appear as
But we all know where we really are.
because it's some sort of magic mumbo jumbo that lets them materialize out of thin air. Whatever it is, they're sneaky little jerks, so watch out. See those searchlights sweeping the rooftop? That means the Hand knows we're coming. Stick to the shadows or you'll never make it to the temple. At least
Fun part
not in
about
one
this
piece.
is that the Hand doesn't care a thing about all the rest of my folks there. As you can see, as long as I stay out of the light, everything is cool. So do not worry about your AI teammates. The Hand doesn't care if they have AI heroes invading, as long as the real intelligently driven heroes are not seen. They're not concerned. Okay, we need Hulk and Star-Lord. We got that open. Get the first loot crate from this area. Alright, that worked out beautifully. We'll walk out right behind that light. And that's how you avoid the lights. You may actually get more XP for setting off the alarms and fighting the ninjas, but I like avoiding the lights. Really expected Jessica to be playable, but that wasn't the case.
Impressive as always, Jess. You gonna tell me how you got through all that without getting
Maybe
caught?
one day, but I kind of doubt
Gotta
it.
keep the mystery in our relationship alive somehow, babe.
Well, these Hand guys, they really have a lot of bombs. I don't know how they carry all those, but
Get inside and meet up with the defenders.
they're pretty disruptive.
I hope.
Lots of pockets in those ninja suits. We can probably open the loot crate, yeah, while we kill the enemies. And while you're here,
Fluctuations in that region.
we got a rift hidden back here. This is probably one of the trickier ones to find if you're really not exploring, because Nick Fury doesn't say a word until you're right on top of that thing. Most of the time, he kind of gives you a heads up that there's one in the area. That one, he stays pretty quiet about it.
One last thing. Danny just texted me and told me he'll meet you at the door. Knowing him, you'll probably want to stand back.
Nice. Getting the levels. We'll continue skipping these cutscenes. We got Iron Fist helping us out here. You can see Amped Up is an amazing skill when it comes to taking out trash like that. There is no other skill that compares to it. Alright, these guys are actually a little bit more serious, so well, kind of was wanting Wolverine to help me out there, like so. There we go. It all worked out in the end.
They chose a violent path. They reaped what they sowed. Been training for this my whole life.
So we got Iron Fist added to the roster. He is very heavily melee, and to the point that he's not as useful as most other characters, because someone like Thor, he has his hammer throw. Someone like Cap has his shield throw. And even Wolverine has a little bit of range on his claw swipes and stuff, and he has his, you know, his berserker rage or whatever that launches him across. And Iron Fist does have a kick that travels, and his punch does have some range on it, but I don't know, his basics are just fairly slow coming out. Like Wolverine, his basic attacks kind of keep the enemy stumbling back, whereas Iron Fist, his attacks are much slower and kind of keep you in position longer than you want to be there. A little bit more animation lock in his kit, I guess, is really what it is, now that I really think about it. So, as much as I wanted to like that character, it didn't really happen that way. He's okay, but he's not as good as most other characters, I would say. That being said, don't take that the wrong way. You can literally beat this game with pretty much any character as long as you combine him with the other characters correctly. As a matter of fact, you could probably literally beat this game with any combination of characters. It would just be slower if you didn't have the right combination.
Your safest bet is to let me or another teammate who can detect danger lead the way.
Now, we got a treasure box behind this curtain right here, so we want to get that opened up. Got us an XP cube back there. This is another one of those rooms where Star-Lord is the man. The tornado has stopped where I wanted it to. I'm taking out this big guy right here. He just doesn't want to be in my tornado. That's okay. I didn't want him in my tornado anyway.
Eat elemental energy, loser!
Just kill him like that.
This time.
Well, we cleared that room pretty effectively there. We've added Daredevil to the roster. Now, I'm playing on classic camera view. If you go into your options, you can actually change to what's called heroic view, where you get in tight behind your hero. If you like playing in that heroic view, then Daredevil is a pretty decent hero. He's got good stagger, he's got an area skill, a barrage, and he's got a debuff that makes bosses or enemies in general take like 20% more damage. So he's good in that sense, but he's very difficult to target with, much like I said Venom was. He's got the same issue where his attacks hit in kind of multiple stages and have a small hitbox on the end of them, so it's really hard to properly target his stagger, for instance. Actually, that's the main skill of his. It's really hard to target. Get this last hand mystic here. I forgot to mention the mechanics of this fight, and I think it's pretty obvious. We got the purple magic energy coming out of these hand mystics, powering up Elektra. So we want to destroy the guys that have the purple lines coming out of them, and that will allow us then to attack Elektra and actually do damage. Now that I got those guys mostly out of the way, let's get on to another character. And of course I'm trying to use skills that he doesn't have right now. Makes sense? love to get an EX on her if I can get my teammates nearby here. Alright, we actually landed Wolverine's EX attack. That is not the easiest thing to do, believe it or not. That last swipe on his EX, you kind of, in my experience, you kind of got to circle the enemy with it if you pass him up. If you don't, he'll end up across the room from him somewhere. So either let the AI do the attack, or, like I said, circle around them, because he hits off to the sides with that attack. So as long as you can kind of stay close to him, it'll generally hit, and it does some nice damage. Let's get back on Star-Lord for a minute. We got some stuff in this hallway we're going to get out of here in treasure boxes. Plus we got some enemies we want to kill, and he's good at doing a whole lot of stuff at once. There we go, we got that void sphere out of that crate in there. Even though you didn't see it, that's what happened. I'll show you the hole in the wall as soon as we kill this guy. So right there is where that chest was. It was right behind that drawing on the wall. We've got another painting here that's not real. Okay, you want to turn around backwards as soon as you go through that. There's another chest right behind you, right there. Okay, we got that chest. We got a couple of these hand guys here. Did some outstanding damage with that tornado. Okay, let's switch to Hulk. Maybe it will not want a Star-Lord synergy to open this. See, it does, obviously. Well, let's see. We need Thor. And we need Star-Lord. And we're going to go for the lightning tornado with Thor there. Alright. I was able to get that open. Awesome. Star-Lord's kind of out of energy at the moment, so do some basic attacks, start getting him filling back up. Not doing bad, got about half an energy bar back on him. Nice globe right there. Yeah, we've ended up in pretty decent shape. Wanted to get some more energy back on him because right in here, let me look in these crates real quick. Maybe we'll get lucky. Yeah, nice. More nice. Sweet, we go in here almost full. There is a boss fight right here. Got this guy Bullseye we've got to take out. Start out on Hulk. See how that goes.
Anyone who would know is dead. I'm right at home here in the Kingpin's little museum. After all, I make killing an art.
Right now, I just want to get him to stage 2 of his attack, which we were successful in doing. Switch to Star-Lord now. We're going to pick up some trash enemies in here.
Do me a favor and die already. I have a reputation.
So we were lucky enough to get him in a tornado, but I also just wanted to try to take out some of the garbage in here, because they are very distracting to the AI. Plus Star-Lord can stay up in the air, which is pretty handy when you're fighting somebody like this. As soon as we get this guy staggered. We'll hopefully have our EX gauge filled by that time, and we do. We'll just go ahead and use that on him. Nice, got the level. And if you notice, when you level up, it actually does refill your health and your EP. So something that some people do, I've never actually used this with one exception. In boss fights and stuff, if you find yourself in trouble, what you can do, you can save your leveling items for those fights, and then you can pause the game. You can go in and level your character up during the fight. It'll refill your health and your EP so that you can kind of get an extra life like that. The one exception, the one time I have done that, I was trying to see how early you could get the artwork for the X-Men section, which we'll see that later. But the artwork is obtained by defeating some enemies in a fight that you're not really intended to win the first time through. And I wanted to see if I could do it with some level 50 characters. And I found that I was able to if I used that technique and refilled with experience. Okay, so what I did here, I lined all these up before I put them on, and the reason being is I've got Star-Lord, I'm full of energy, and I can take out a lot of enemies at once. So what I'm wanting to do is put one on. Well, I want to put one on, enemies will appear. I'll put another on, more enemies will appear. And if I'm really lucky, I get 3 on. Okay, we got a lot of enemies here. So now I can just go to town and wear them out. That's my favorite way to do that level. And the next thing I'm going to do is get rid of these guys on the staircase because they throw grenades non-stop, which is just plain irritating. I don't know why they want to do that. Okay, now we can go back down here, take out this last guy. He should be a piece of cake now that we're not having grenades lobbed at us every second of the day. And we can push the last statue in place, which will unlock the door. So if you don't want that massive surge of enemies, don't do that technique. But if you would rather just get it done and over with all in one go like that, then line your statues up, and then you can take them all out at once.
I do my best fighting in hallways.
Yeah, but I prefer walls I can use to my advantage, not ones I can kick straight through.
Really love that moon back there. That was a pretty cool touch. We get a good view of that a little bit later. There is a treasure chest we want to pick up. It's right over here. Alright, so we want to get Star-Lord, who has flame, and we want Wolverine for his barrage. Alright, and we'll see if we can actually get this to work out like it's supposed to. Excellent. I get really happy every time that happens because sometimes those things just don't want to work. You'll get the wrong synergies. You know, they'll just refuse to do the synergy that you need to open the door. If you go in and turn off all the skills, which you can do, then you can force it to do what you want it to do. But that's the last ditch effort when that happens. Now we got the Kingpin fight. I actually really like this fight. The early part of this game really has a lot of fights I enjoy. See, and one skill we haven't used yet, and is just an amazing skill, is Thor's stagger skill. It is one of the best staggers in the game. You can charge that thing up, you hold the button down, and it really just eats up a stagger bar. You You can see the line in his health. We want to get him down past that before we try to use our EX attack. I'm going to switch over to Star-Lord. We're about to have a lot of trash that we can fight here, so you want to take care of this trash.
If you won't bow to my demands,
You want to be off the ground when he lands if you're nearby. Okay, you can see how handy Star-Lord was there. Lots of trash. Okay, I'm going to switch over to Hulk for a minute because I'm going to talk about a technique that's pretty cool to do if I can manage to stay upright. Oh, he doesn't have that skill yet. Never mind. If it had been later in the game, we would have done that, but we'll have to talk about that one later. We're going to EX this guy. Well, I thought we were. He got up and ran away on me. It's fine. He's not terribly hard to defeat anyway. We got all this stagger on our team and stuff. Matter of fact, you can use these guys to really charge your EP. If you got somebody that's low, jumping attacks where you can hit multiple enemies like that are amazing. Now, if he'll do another one of those beam attacks, I'll show you what I'm talking about when it comes to. I'll try to run around and get him to do one. Nah, looks like we're just going to have a column attack. But here's the beam attack. So you can dodge through the beam and you take no damage. That's what I was going to tell you. You want to go toward the beam, not away from it. If you're going away from the beam, you're going to get hit. The same thing goes for that column. You can probably dodge toward it as well. I just wasn't dodging, unfortunately for me. Alright. I suppose I should get serious about actually killing him. Get rid of the trash on there, and then we'll go after him for real. And that's the end of Kingpin. He's really fun to fight because he has attacks that hit pretty hard, but they're generally not something that's going to one-shot you. But they're also, for the most part, avoidable if you're playing well. So that's what I really like about that. So that's the end of the Hell's Kitchen level, and hope you guys enjoyed that.